People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I've been playing Dragon Age the Veilguard for almost 10 hours, and so far, here's what I think about the game. This game, I think by far, is better than their last few games with Anthem and with Andromeda. Anthem had some things I liked about it. Andromeda had a lot of things going for it, more so in the gameplay side of things. But so far, the biggest glaring positive I can see about this game is not a broken technical mess that constantly keeps crashing, has crazy goofy bugs, very well polished. The faces don't look tired all the time. I would even go as far as to say the faces in this game look 10 times better than what we've seen in Mass Effect Andromeda. Actually, it's a far cry from that. But for starters with this game, the character creator is very robust. You have a wide variety of customization options to your liking. Like if you want to play as a blind elf, you can. If you want to play as somebody who's a freckle face, short female dwarf, you can. As far as the story goes, I am liking where it's heading so far. It kind of has this red herring feeling in the sense of, if you're just going off of everything you've seen with every trailer that they put out, you will think that it's going to end up going one way, but it actually goes another way. And there is also a certain point in the story where I kind of do see the comparison to Mass Effect 2, but it was kind of worded a certain way. The best way I can describe it is it got really dark really quick. And I wish that up to this point, BioWare leaned more into the dark side of this game, because it could have really did them a lot of favors. Now, the characters that I have met in the game so far, I think are very somewhat likable, but I am at the point I do want to learn more about each character that I have come across. Now, my biggest concern with this game going in was what could they do with the dialogue and dialogue choices per se. How much would they matter? How much would they have an effect on the game? And so far, I feel like it matters very little, in a sense, where there will be certain things that'll happen. You'll make a certain choice and you may have a party member disapprove or approve of it, but afterwards, when you get back to your little hub world, there's not a moment where you'll get confronted by anybody that may challenge you on it and be like, hey, why did you do that? Like, why would you make a decision like that? Or vice versa. Or there's not really any dialogue choices where you could be a complete asshat or renegade if you want to. Now, don't get me wrong, there will be some conversations you may have with certain particular characters who they may bring up something you said about them from a previous conversation, but it happens very little in between. And then there'll be certain things you may say that'll come off with a little bit more of a raw emotion. Like if it's some type of dire moment of sorts, all that often. Now, do I think this is more of the same compared to something like Mass Effect Andromeda, or better? I think it is a little bit slightly better than that. But thankfully, so far, I have not encountered a single character in the game that will say, hey, my face is tired. Where's your goddamn father? And some could hear that and say, damn, is the bar really that low for BioWare? Absolutely. Now, some people may or may not like this, depending on how much of a Dragon Age fan you are. This is a very linear RPG. And honestly, I don't mind it, because I feel like it's a breath of fresh air considering the current climate we're in, with a lot of open world games giving you that open world-itis feeling where you just feel so fatigued, and a lot of them have a lot of repetition and feel very samey, and it's not that many open world games that separate themselves from the pack. So I do appreciate that BioWare chose the more linear route. The best way I could describe it would be some of the older Mass Effect games, in the sense they would be linear, but it would be like open-ended linear structure, if that makes any sense, and not just full-blown open world. The most enjoyable part about the combat, I think, how you're able to pull up the real-time menu on the fly and have two members of your party do like a primer detonator type of combo, or you can have them use one of their specials while you use your special. Combine that with how smooth and fast-paced the combat feels. It feels a lot better than I thought it was going to be originally, because looking at it, I wasn't really like blown away by it, nor was I like oh, this looks terrible. It was kind of like middle of the road, okay looking. And I definitely do see the God of War comparison here, like specifically with the health bar and in a small way with the Spidey sense dangling over your head to kind of either dodge or time a perfect parry, to use one of your rage meter ultimate abilities, or use a companion's ability to kind of have this super crazy combo. And if there's one thing you can lean on Bioware for, it is been their gameplay. Even with Anthem, for all its faults, that game had some pretty decent gameplay if you ask me. But all in all, I think Dragon Age the Veilguard is a prime example of be better than your last game, and I think Bioware has done that. This is so far a pretty good experience for me. I'll admit, like, I'm not that big of a Dragon Age fan, but this feels like one of those games, it could be entry into the series. Like if you've never played it, you would play something like this, and so on and so forth. But the biggest question that everybody's going to end up having is Bioware back? I think they are back. They did put out a game that I think is good and at least better than the last two games that they put out. And to me, that's all that matters going into this. Can they deliver? Can they deliver a quality controlled game and something I would want to sink my teeth into? And I'm proud to say I'm thoroughly enjoying this game. But with that being said, y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Are you still on the fence about Dragon Age the Veilguard or not? Did it sell you? Till next time, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.